Excellent. Let's start. Okay, so we are recording now. Let's see, guys. So this is what we were learning in the previous classes. We check the past continuous, simple past, used to, and we talk about what are the elements of a story, series, movie, book. Okay. So now we know how to tell stories in past. So let's try to do something. I'm going to show you a story, different pictures, and you need to make a story. Okay? I'm going to show you here. Okay. One moment, please. Okay, so let's do this. We see the picture and you make the story according to what you see in this. You have 5 pictures and you need to make a story. Okay, so look at them. Okay, so what can we do? This is going to be the example. You see the picture number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you make this story. Okay, so I could say, I don't know, we could start stories in different ways. There are some expressions you can use. One of these is once upon a time. Once upon a time is a very famous phrase that used to start stories. Érase una vez. You say in English, once upon a time. Okay, we have once upon a time. You can also say once a time. Érase una vez también se puede decir once a time. Once upon a time or once a time. This is when you tell like a story, like kind of fantasy or something. So we start saying like once upon a time, y yo puedo decir, por ejemplo, utilizar there was, for example, in past to say. Este sería la forma del pasado para decir había. There was, había. Si quiero decir en plural, ¿cómo lo diríamos? ¿Cómo podríamos decir? Había.
There were?
There were, exactly. There were. Yeah. There was, there were. Very well. So we start saying, there once upon a time, there was, or there were if it's plural. Okay, so I'm going to start telling the story. Once upon a time, there was a boy playing with his ball inside his home. He was playing with his ball inside his home. It was a rainy day, so he couldn't go outside. He threw the ball and it fell onto the table, and he broke the weak table. Later, his mom came and brought cake that she made because of his birthday. When she realized she put the cake, the table was broken because he had fixed the table with tape. Ahí lo ven, ¿no? Poniendo pegamento, o no sé si es como cinta adhesiva, ¿no? Okay, so you have to do the similar thing. I will show you other pictures and you now write the story. First, we're going to do the kind of writing activity. Vamos a hacer una actividad primero de writing y luego de speaking. Okay, so let's go and let's see. Now you see this story and now you're going to write it here on the chat. Por favor, escriban aquí en el chat cómo sería esta historia. Vayan narrando lo que ven y creen su historia. Please write here on the chat. It doesn't need to be that long, no necesita ser muy largo. And you write in the chat and then I read you. After that, we will do a speaking activity and then we'll continue. Okay, so please go and please write your activity here. Okay. ¿Hay alguna duda de lo que hay que hacer? Have any questions? You want to know how to say something, you can tell me. So Daniela said, once upon a time there was a young man who left home on a bicycle. Muy bien, aunque todavía falta, ¿no? Contar más detalles de la historia. That's just the beginning. Come on, guys, you write your story here. Here in the chat, you can write, aquí pueden escribirlo y enviarlo. If you have any questions, please ask me. Very well. Thank you, Oscar. He says, once upon a time, there was a boy on his bike. He wakes up early and he goes to school. When he was near the river, he saw a man in trouble. He almost fell in the waterfall, and he used his scarf to save him, and the man thanked him for saving him. Very well. Utilizamos pasado simple. También pueden utilizar, por ejemplo, otras estructuras como el pasado continuo, presente perfecto, to make your story. That's the first thing. When we write things, we are usually write it more accurately than when we speak, because we think what we are writing. Eso es algo obvio, pero nos ayuda mucho. Cuando queremos formular algo, queremos contar una historia, nos sirve mucho escribir. Cuando escribimos, las ideas están más claras en nuestra mente, entonces escribimos algo y tiene más sentido o está mejor estructurado que cuando hablamos, porque cuando hablamos vienen las palabras al momento que las pensamos, podría ser. So now this is what we are doing, because later we're going to do this exercise, but with speaking, all right? So, very well. What else? Once a time, there was a man crossing a river in a boat. Muy bien, también nos faltan detalles. Hay que decir toda la historia, right? Like what happened. You can invent details. Maite says, once upon a time, there was a boy who rode his bike and then went to a fall. Waterfall. Cascada decimos waterfall. He helped a man. What did he help him with? ¿Con qué lo ayudó? You can add details. Try to add details to your story. Añadamos detalles a su historia. Muy bien. He said goodbye to his parents. Aquí está la parte que escribió Daniela. On the way, and found a person asking for help. In this way, he helped him to get out of the river. Bueno, a lo mejor Daniela es aquí la protagonista, ¿no? De la historia. When they were both safe, they both thanked each other. I like the use of both here. Very well. So I see you're using already simple past. Utilizan las formas de pasado siempre de forma correcta. You use the ed for the verb. Al ponerle a un verbo ed, al final ese verbo se convierte en pasado cuando es un verbo regular. And I also see that you're using irregular verbs, which is good. Very well. It says, I'm going to talk about heroic story. Okay. Excellent. This sounds exciting. Sounds exciting, right? Parece. Empieza con una introducción emocionante. That happened a few months ago in the town. It is about a boy who used to go by bicycle to his job. Muy bien. Utilizas by bicycle because it's a transportation. Every time we talk about transportation, we use the preposition by. Por ejemplo, si si nos subimos o vamos a algún lugar en autobús, decimos by bus. Puede ser by car. Puede ser by bicycle, like you see here. To his job. The town has a road close to the river. He was arriving to his job when suddenly, muy bien, cuando, suddenly quiere decir de repente. También puedes decir all of a sudden. All of a sudden es cuando, de repente. Suddenly he heard some man, I think a man screaming loud, asking for help. The man was para decir a la deriva, decimos adrift. Adrift. Adrift quiere decir a la deriva. Adrift on the river close to the waterfall. Fortunately, the boy had a scarf which he used to save the man. The man was so thankful with him for saving his life. Very well. And remember the difference between history, right? The difference between history and story, because yeah, in Spanish we use one word. En español solo decimos historia. But here we have history. History is things that happen in the past. And we have story como Toy Story. La palabra story, entonces una historia que no es, bueno, puede o no ser real, pero no es, se refiere a la historia como estudio o materia, you say. So that's the difference between story and history. So a story is like, I don't know, the Red Hood, la Caperucita Roja, ¿no? History, I don't know, Miguel Hidalgo, ¿ya? Ok. También puedes decir story cuando hablas de algo que te pasó recientemente, porque es una historia real. Por eso les comento, puede haber historias reales y historias ficticias. They can be real stories, de verdad, they are real based stories, or sorry, real story based movies. Películas basadas en una historia real. But history is more other kind of thing. Very well. A ver, ¿qué más nos han enviado? Nos faltan algunos que nos envíen su texto. Once a time, there was a man, nos dice Flor, crossing a river in a boat, but a person on a bicycle helped him because he got stuck in the middle of the river. And in the end, the person crossing the river arrived safely at his house. Okay. So what are some expressions that you can use? Let me see. What are some expressions you can use to tell your story? Well, here you have the expressions. There's more to give arguments. Ok, podemos utilizar alguna de estas expresiones. For example, firstly, let us take a look at. Primero vamos a prestar atención a, es como para introducir un punto. To start with, para empezar, podemos decir to start with. First of all, antes que, bueno, decimos antes que nada, ¿no? Hay quien dice que la expresión antes que nada es errónea. But in English you say first of all, que sea como antes de todo. It is worth considering, vale la pena considerar. Secondly, es como en segundo lugar, en tercer lugar. Furthermore es además. In addition, también es como además. What is more? These are like synonyms. But there are some other narrative tenses that you can use. For example, how can we say antes in English? How do we say antes?
Before.
Before. Sí, a veces uno se confunde porque antes empieza con A. Entonces a lo mejor dices after, como antes, pero no, after es después, right? This can happen to you while you're speaking. Okay, before, antes, after, después. Very well. What other things do we say? ¿Cómo diríamos en inglés luego o después? Then, next. Puedes decir so. So es como así que. You can say, for example, I finished my breakfast. So we left home and continued, I don't know. And so we continued the trip. Terminé mi tarea y entonces después continuamos con nuestro viaje. So you could use then, next, so. Ok, ya habíamos visto cómo se dice cuando de repente. How can we say that? De repente. How can we say so?
Suddenly.
Suddenly. Yes. We can say unexpectedly, inesperadamente. Just pay attention to the pronunciation. We say unexpectedly. Unexpectedly. Suddenly, unexpectedly. Okay, what other things can happen during a story? Well, you can say besides. Besides quiere decir además. You could say besides in many situations, but you could use it in your story. By the time. By the time is para cuando. Okay, by the time the prince arrived, the dragon ate the princess. By the time the prince arrived, the dragon ate the princess. Entonces ahí tenemos by the time, como al ya a la hora o en el momento. Yeah. Okay. Then we could say finally. Finally, como finalmente. Lastly, you can say too. Lastly, finalmente. Y para cuando termina la historia, cuando quieres decir, y eso fue todo, tú puedes decir, and that was it. Eso es como para en el pasado, para concluir la historia. Como eso fue todo. En presente puedes decir, and that's it. Eso es todo. And so you would say, and that was it. Okay. And they live happy forever. They lived happy forever. Vivieron felices por siempre, right? Okay. So now I will show you another picture. You will interact with your partners. Now I want you to have a conversation with your partners. It's going to be this picture. I'm going to send you a picture to your WhatsApp too. Okay. Muy bien, entonces vamos a ir a grupos más pequeños. You will have to tell the story. You have to make the story together with your partners. Okay? You will discuss it, you will speak. Maybe one person can describe, for example, you see there are 5 pictures. So if in your team, si en su equipo hay, por ejemplo, 3 personas, una persona puede escribir una imagen, la otra persona describe la otra y así. So you describe the story, describe the details, describan los detalles, but everything is speaking. Okay? Now, once you tell the story, you have to be as creative as possible. Tienen que dar la historia más creativa. Because the other team will make an effort to do it as creative as possible too. El otro equipo también va a intentar hacerlo lo más creativo posible. So after you discuss and after you have a speaking activity, you will write a story. One of you could write it, but you will write the story together. Van a escribir la historia juntos en su equipo. Y lo vamos a enviar aquí al chat para que lo podamos leer. So we're going to compare. After this, I will send you back. Los enviaremos todos y estaremos ya todos aquí en clase. Y vamos a ver cuál fue la historia más creativa. Okay, so let's repeat the instructions again. So number one, I send you to your teams. Los voy a enviar a estos equipos. Number two, you will speak about the details, about the pictures, about everything. Van a hablar con sus compañeros sobre todos los detalles, que cada compañero describa una imagen. Then after that, you try to come up with the most creative story. Ahora van a añadir detalles divertidos o no sé, pueden hacer que su historia tenga un giro más de terror, un giro más de comedia, no sé, cualquier cosa. Give names to your characters, denle nombre a sus personajes. And after you go to a consensus, cuando vayan a un consenso, escriben su historia entre todos los miembros del equipo y lo envía solo una persona en el chat. Okay, so that's it. I will send you to your groups and I will be entering your groups to help you to make your story. So let's see who makes the most creative story. We have to consider all the grammar too. Hay que considerar la gramática, pasado, presente perfecto, pasado continuo, used to, anything. Okay? So just try to be creative, try to talk to your partners, and I will be joining your teams. Before I assign you to your groups, do you have any questions antes de que los asigne? ¿Alguien tiene alguna duda?
No, teacher.
No. Okay. Excellent. So I am moving you to your teams. Please, it's important that all of you participate and you help the members of your team. Okay, so I'm going to open it now. Aún van a seguir viendo la imagen. So first, just speaking. Primero, solamente hablar, discutir los detalles de lo que ven en las fotos. After that, you make your story. Después de eso, escriben una historia. Let's go. Okay, guys, so you must see the picture. Please, now you're with your team. Please start describing the pictures. Very well. You have your story, guys?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Okay.
Maite. Oh, I'm not sure.
By the way, if you see here, I activated the function of subtitles. So you can this is something that I've always wanted in my life. Like you're talking to a person and you can see the subtitles of what they're saying, right? Ok. Activé esta función de subtítulos que acabo de descubrir. Y así lo que diga yo, lo que digan sus compañeros, les aparece escrito. No sé si les aparece. Can you see what I say?
No, teacher. Maybe
No,
we can to
yet.
active the shortcut. Okay.
We have to
Do
activate
you have a
that
function?
function.
I think maybe you have to. Sí, creo que ahí aparece una opción.
All right, let me see.
Aparece subtítulos.
Oh, yeah, subtítulos.
Activar subtítulos.
Mostrar subtítulos.
Ajá.
It says idioma de subtítulos. We use
And you
English,
choose
right?
English. Yeah.
Okay, guardar. And then, okay, speak.
Yes, and you speak and you will see everything that we are seeing in class.
Si yo digo,
That's useful, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so now you can see what I'm saying. If anytime you get lost with what I say, you can follow the subtitles and that's it.
Nice.
Yeah, okay, very well. Ya vieron la opción, si pueden activar los subtítulos, traten de activar subtítulos ustedes desde su computadora and you will hear me saying things. I mean, you will see the things that I say. Si los distrae o no le gusta, también lo pueden ocultar. Okay, well, here we have the stories. Vamos a leer las historias y ustedes deciden si cuál es, bueno, van a votar obviamente por ese equipo. Let's see which one is the most creative. Okay. And in order to do this, we share the picture once again. Let's read your stories. Tim, Moni, Maite, Jorge, and Flor. A time, what do you mean a time?
¿Una vez o una ocasión?
You can see once upon a time.
Okay.
Once upon a time, Brian and Laura, which are siblings, went to a camping in nature's reserve. They were crossing a beautiful bridge when it broke and she fell about 2 meters of height from the top in the river. Her brother Brian was so scared because he thought that her sister was hurt, but fortunately she wasn't. When they were looking away to cross the river, suddenly a crocodile arrived close to Laura. But she was not afraid and she took the opportunity to roll the crocodile and her brother used their foot to call the crocodile close to the other side of the river. Finally, they were happy together again. Okay, let's see. It was interesting, so she rolled the crocodile and her brother used their foot to call the crocodile. She was very brave. Excellent story, guys. So he's Brian and Laura. The crocodile has a name?
No.
No? Okay. You see, with these subtitles, it's like we are in a movie. No es como es que estamos en una película y
Yeah.
los subtítulos.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Okay, that says, let's read the next one. Team Danny, Fer, Gabriel, and Oscar. Once upon a time, there were two friends who were Scott boys, Brian and Kimberly. Brian y la Kimberly, ¿no? Who decided to go camping.
Cocodrilos el Tyson.
Okay. Who decided to go camping towards a mountain and then they had to go hiking until they came across a bridge. Brian managed to cross, but the bridge began to destroy because it was very old. So they went down and tried to swim across the river. Kimberly was going to enter the river when suddenly a scary crocodile appeared. What no one knew was that El Brian and La Kimberly were mutants. So Brian told Kimberly, let's use our mental powers to hypnotize the crocodile and you can get on it. And they did. Kimberly managed to get on the crocodile and cross the river for having behaved well. They rewarded him, the crocodile, with a large piece of pizza. Okay. Well, that was interesting. That makes sense. So they were mutants and they controlled the crocodile. You know, crocodiles are very scary. I just watched some videos. There's a crocodile eating another crocodile. There's a woman who throws some chicken, dead, of course, the flesh, the meat. And all the crocodiles go to eat the chicken. But one of the crocodiles grabs the crocodile's leg and it tears out his hand. I mean, his leg. They don't have hands. And there are many videos of crocodiles eating dogs. I don't know why, but there's people playing with their dogs near the river and there are crocodiles and the crocodiles eat the dog. They are very, very scary animals. Okay, guys. Well, so far we were able to practice the simple past. We had a different activity, like a class that's different from some other classes, you know. So not that focused on many technical things. Well, tomorrow we're going to learn a new unit. We're going to start a new unit, the new grammar topics. So thank you so much for joining us. I don't know which story won. I liked both your stories. You were very creative. And as I told you, this is something you can always try to do. Try to write a diary, or at least try to write what you did during the week so you can be familiar with using the past. So if you write things in English, it will be easier. You can put your thoughts in order. Puedes poner tus pensamientos en mente y es más fácil. So try to write some things in English that can help you too. Okay. Well, so yes, as I told you, tomorrow we will actually we just checked these last activities from the book, but we will start the new unit. Okay. So I will assign you to do this homework. Please work on the review of the page 106. Is this part is a review of the grammar that we have seen in class. Please work on the exercises 1 and 2. So page 106. Exercises 1 and 2. Y ahí tienen también el cuadro de referencia gramatical. Entonces todavía más fácil, right? Easier. Okay, this is for your homework. Guys, thank you for participating. Thanks, everyone. Take care and see you tomorrow.
Teacher,
Goodbye.
teacher,
Thank you. See you
Yes.
soon.
teacher, antes de terminar la clase, tengo una pregunta.
Yes.
Es que como desde hace 1 o 2 semanas que ya no hemos visto del teacher David,
Ajá. Yeah, I don't know. He hasn't been able to cover me. No me ha
Oh.
podido cubrir los miércoles. So I don't know. Maybe his circumstances changed, and maybe he will be able to cover me in the future. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you missed him?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. His circumstances change, I think. Okay. Very well, guys. So thank you. No, we in Seth. Okay. Well, see you next class. Take care.